That's fashion.
All right, are we?
All right.
Oh, we're live right now.
We're live right now?
And actually,
All right.
now that I'm seeing my style that we're talking about, this is a brand new shirt. Does it make me look like a used car salesman? Like, honestly, honest. Like, brand new, I just got it a couple days ago.
I think
I
you can
normally wear this.
It makes you
I
look...
think you can lose the bottom button.
Okay. Loosen it up a bit.
You need to steam it because I can see the lines,
Oh, yeah.
the foldy lines.
Oh, yeah, that's
Don't wear it with a jacket. I think you can only wear it like that. Like if you wear it with a suit.
Yeah, I wore it with the
Used.
jacket already earlier. Okay, that was a bad idea. Hello,
I mean, you asked.
yeah, it's true. No, I wanted that opinion.
You wanted to know.
Yep.
Maybe,
welcome-
maybe with the jacket, but no tie.
Okay, I went with no tie, but maybe a gold chain would just...
Oh no! Don't
Yeah,
do that!
I
No!
think
Don't
you've
do
got
that!
the
That's
right way.
You've
exactly
got the
right
Greek thing going on already. Just embrace it.
All right. Fine.
Yeah.
All right. Well, welcome to Between the Streams. This is our weekly show where we talk about television and whatever else comes of mind. So we are streaming live on YouTube right now. This is also a podcast if you're listening that way. But if you're live on YouTube, go ahead and hop in there and leave a comment. Tell us what you want to talk about. I'm Greg Nibbler. This
I'm
is
Ryan Juanita.
Ryan Juanita. And we have a very special guest here with us who literally just flew in. And that is Eliza Skinner.
Hi!
Yay!
Yay! It's me!
I'll dive in like a clapping.
Oh,
studio
thank you.
audience
Thank
afterwards.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, stop it, you guys! Stop! Stop! Oh, they keep going.
No, you guys, come on. We have a show to do. We have a show to do, you guys.
Good. Perfect.
So Eliza is here for Bridgetown Comedy Festival.
Yeah.
This is
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah.
So you have, well, for anybody who doesn't know, Bridgetown Comedy Festival, is this like the 9th year or something?
Gosh, I
like
don't
that?
know.
Eighth? Nine? Ninth year. So we're here out of Portland, wherever you're watching, and it is amazing. There's, I don't know, hundreds of comedians, 150 comedians, I don't know, something like that. A lot of comedians, thousands of them, who have flown in here. Everyone in Portland's a comedian right now. And Eliza,
Everybody's a comedian.
everybody's a comedian. And Eliza is here performing a bunch of shows. How was the flight?
It was fine. It was good.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy flight from LA. I was sharing my row with this little old couple. They were not old. They were older. They were a couple, and they were like really cute when I got on the plane. I was one of the last people on. They were like, "Well, we weren't sure if we were going to get a lady or a fella. We were taking bids. We were taking bets." And I sat down, and the guy was like, "Ooh, she got a coffee. She was smart." And I was like, "Yeah, I did." And then they started talking about apples. Like they were talking about which varieties of apples they liked the best. Like it was ridiculous. Yeah, they're like, "Well, I like aroma. A jazz can be snappy though." And I'm like, "Who are these people?"
I've never even heard of those kinds of apples.
I know, right? They were going deep. And then, and like she had to explain who the X-Men were to him, and it was just adorable. And I was like, this is like relationship goals. These people are the best. They're so cute. I won the lottery of who to sit with. And then the plane landed, and they pushed past everyone to get off the flight, grab their carry-ons from the front of the plane. There were those people who had put their carry-on right at the front.
So they could just take it and go.
Yeah, I was like, oh, they're monsters. They were monsters the whole time, and I thought that they were like so nice.
See,
They were the
everybody's
worst people.
Everybody's an asshole.
Yeah.
Once you get
That's
really
the
to the
bottom line.
core, once you dig
Yeah.
down.
No matter
Yeah.
how much your knowledge is of apples,
No.
it doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Nope.
They probably
it's
take
everyone
all
for
the toilet
themselves.
paper and don't tell anybody
Yeah,
and stuff.
or they take all the paper towels and shove them into the toilet. Who
Yeah,
does
yeah.
that?
Oh, yeah,
Who's
I hate
doing
that.
that?
Those are
Someone's
people, then
doing
they,
that.
they probably sit there, they do that, and then they watch who goes back there because they know it's ruined.
Yeah.
Like that's what.
And then jerk off to
Yeah.
it. They're like, that's my thing. People in
thing,
pain.
man. That's what I'm into.
Uncomfortable
Oh, man.
people.
That's not right.
Let's take a look. You are performing tonight.
Yeah.
Tonight, you've got a show.
I got 2 shows.
2 shows tonight. Yes, you do. So Baked. Baked is Steve Agee's show, is that right?
It is, yeah.
And so what's the concept of Baked?
You do stand-up, and then you sing a song with their band.
Oh, that's right.
And you have to be baked to enjoy it, or?
No, it's just that it started out at a club in LA called the Baked Potato.
Oh, nice.
It's a little tiny jazz club, but the sign has this baked potato with little arms and legs, and he's like rocking out. He's having so much fun. So I've always loved that sign. But yeah, so they just named it after.
Well,
the
most
place.
people will probably be baked anyways, because it's
Probably.
Portland.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's entirely possible.
Yeah, it's going to be a theme.
That's fine. I'm sure you'll just like it more. I mean, you may lose
Absolutely.
the thread of what people are talking about, but you probably won't care.
Now, do you know what
right.
song you're going to sing?
I do.
Is it a secret?
I don't know. Should it be? Does that
I don't
matter? I'm not. No. I'm singing "Shadows of the Night" by Pat Benatar.
Wow,
Oh,
nice.
okay.
Now, have you sang that before?
At karaoke.
Is that your
Okay,
karaoke
yeah.
go-to?
No. I have a few karaoke go-tos.
Everybody has. You gotta have
But
2 or 3.
that
I
one
guess.
isn't.
You gotta have 2 or 3.
The problem is the actual version of it starts a cappella and like no
have
karaoke
a
versions
note?
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, I
karaoke
see.
versions are like these humans aren't going to be able to do that,
Right.
so we'll
Right.
play
We're
some
gonna
intro,
use-
and I'm
they
like,
always play it
that's
down.
less interesting.
Right.
I like to be able to like, just do it.
Wow.
You know?
Okay. So that's
Yeah.
going to be happening tonight.
Yep.
That's
That is
awesome.
a bold song to sing, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, I could
definitely
crash and
understand.
burn. It could be terrible.
Yeah,
Who
either
knows?
way, it'll be awesome. Then you've got set list, which is tonight too. That's where they just give you a topic, right?
Yeah, well, they give you a bunch. You're supposed to. All the comics act like it's their set list of their normal act, and as it goes, they project topics on the wall behind you. So you kind of have to glance back and see what the topics are, and they're usually totally ridiculous. Like I got crab nursery one time.
Wait, is that an actual term or is that
No,
just two
no, they'll just like
words
take
glommed
words
together?
and smush
Okay.
them together.
Gotcha. 'Cause you never know.
Yeah,
With animals, they always come up with weird names for the groups.
yeah, exactly.
Like how a murder of crows.
A nursery of crabs.
Yeah, I don't know. Could
That
be.
sounds
That
very
doesn't make
dangerous
sense.
for the babies. Yeah, and so you have to pretend like those were your notes that you made yourself for the jokes, and improvise a whole set
That
based
sounds
on
hard.
That sounds very difficult.
Yeah.
But
They're basically just trying to like make you fail, like put you to the test.
Well, no, they don't want you to fail, but yeah, definitely put you to the test. I think it's really interesting. I do the show a lot in LA. I started doing it in Edinburgh when I was. They were doing it at the Edinburgh Festival when I was there one year.
Nice.
Yeah, it was fun, and it was so interesting to see the way other comics' minds work, like how they take a suggestion and deconstruct it and build something from it. You know, some people just totally like go on a word association. Some people work backwards to it to like make the topic their punchline. Some people just ride on personality, and that would be me. That would be me.
Yeah, that sounds like the good one. I do that too. So you know the thing about crab nurseries, I tell you,
You guys like me, right?
and airplane peanuts. What's the deal with those?
yeah, Ryan, this is why you're not in the festival.
Well, I have a very stuck in the '90s comedy style, and it just doesn't seem to fly.
Well, it's important to have
I'm
a
not
style.
sure why.
You know, if you're branding yourself somehow, then
I just
that's
do a poor Seinfeld impression, and that seems to not work at all for
Ooh,
me.
yeah.
I have been to a couple of comedy open mics, and those are perhaps the most
They're
interesting
awful.
thing.
Oh.
Except sometimes it's really hilarious. Like this one guy did a 3-minute story about how he stole his roommate's dental floss. You wouldn't think that'd be funny, but he nailed it. It was like
that's good.
hilarious.
All right.
And then somebody else goes up there because she's drunk and her friends always told her to do it. Or like, the guy that's just like, I'm going to make this dream happen.
Right.
And it's really bad.
Well, that sounds like an open mic that has actual people at it, not
Yeah.
just other comics. That's key. Those
Yeah,
are fine.
exactly.
It's the ones where the entire audience is comics waiting to go up that are soul sucking because they don't really
yeah.
listen to
And
you.
no one cares,
and
yeah.
No one
Thinking
cares.
about their own
And they're
set.
also like, I'm
Yeah.
funnier than she is.
Yeah,
I'm funnier than
they're
he
thinking
is.
about their own set, or they're comparing themselves to you or you to
Right.
them. And I mean, if you have like a really bitter one or a really new one who hasn't learned not to do this, they will. Sometimes they're like, well, I don't want to laugh. I want to be the funny one.
Oh yeah.
And then it's
Jeez,
like,
Oh my
woof.
God.
That's gonna ruin mine.
Yeah. Don't
Woof.
laugh up the room.
That's cutthroat.
There's
I
only
just never think about that.
That's
But-
like they think there's a finite amount of laughter in the world.
Yeah.
They
But
don't want to suck it out of the room.
I think that's true with anything that's somewhat competitive, and,
Yeah.
and comedy,
Yeah.
like when you're actually doing it, it's not competitive. But having a comedy career, like there's only so many jobs, and there's so many
Sure.
people who want them, so it ends up
Right.
being competitive because of that. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, you start off doing competition in the wrong way, and then you learn like, oh wait, I can be inspired by these people.
Right.
I can use it to move me forward, and we can all float to the surface like gentle bubbles, and that's much better.
That's the idea. Well, yeah, I used to try to be a musician and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of how it was in some places. But in Nashville, everybody like was super competitive, but they also like all jammed together. So everybody was cool. But yeah, once the shows, there's only so many shows. There's only so
Yeah.
many groups that need a bass player. And if you play guitar, just go home.
Yeah.
Because there's like 1,000 people better than you.
Well, there's
So it can be really, it can
That's
be
interesting.
really
We should do
sort
a
of-
show about that.
If you have a guitar, go home.
No, Nashville.
They should do a show about that, and then they should cancel it after 4 seasons because it's enough already.
Yeah.
Well, your big show, the one that I'm looking forward to the most, is Turned Up.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is awesome. So, for anybody who doesn't know, can you explain the concept of Turned Up?
It's a freestyle rap battle between comedians. So there's a lot of rap battles these days are not freestyle. Freestyle has come to mean different things. It's an improvised rap battle. So everyone's making it all up on the spot as they go. No pre-written rhymes. I mean, they get to introduce themselves with some pre-written rhymes, but that's about it. And sometimes they do it in characters. Sometimes they are just themselves. It's really fun. It's a really fun show. I've been doing it. Gosh, I used to do it under the name The Beatdown, and then we changed the name to Turnt Up. And so I've been doing it for like 10 years. It's been a long time, yeah. But it's fun.
What got you into battle rapping?
Well, I started off. It's a long, weird story. I started off. I grew up in the South, as I told you guys before we started, in Richmond, Virginia. My sister kind of liked hip hop, not that much, but she was older than me, so I grew up listening to her cassette tapes and stuff.
Okay.
And all the kids that I went to school with were really into it. I was usually like the only white kid in my schools, so like to be able to join conversations,
You had to know.
Yeah, but also like that's what people were listening to, and it was cool and great.
Yeah.
So I would listen to it too.
That was like when NWA was coming up, right? Or a little
Yeah,
bit after that.
I don't think I was.
I don't know
allowed
how
to,
old you are. I'm older. I'm in an older area.
I mean, I knew about NWA, but I was not like Public
Yeah.
Enemy
Okay,
was about
yeah.
as hard as I was
gotcha.
allowed and
See, when you're
felt
from
comfortable
Montana,
with.
NWA, you got to go hard.
Yeah,
You
I
gotta
mean,
go all
once
the
I got
way.
older, I was like, I rolled back and was like, yeah, NWA. But then, so I listened to a lot of rap, but I was also a huge nerd. As I said, I spent like a month speaking only in rhyme when I was in high
that's
school.
what
You did say that, and that is the craziest.
Yeah, just
So then that's how
Craziest
you-
idea.
That's how you talk to everyone.
yeah, and
Just
I'm
fun.
not in a hip hop way at all. Just like in a look, I can do a rhyme. Do you like it? And every single time, and it was like a terrible Dr. Seuss existence, and all my friends were trapped in it too. And that friend list dwindled because no one wanted to hang out with that
They're like,
person.
I really like you, but I just can't take it anymore.
I know. We should walk out the door. Huh? Did you catch the rhyme? Okay. Anyway, so all of that, and then after I went to college, in college I got into improv. And I also grew up doing a lot of musical theater, and so when I did improv, I did a lot of improvising and song, and then I got right out of college got work in a short form musical improv company, doing a lot of musical improv, and in that there would always be rap,
Okay.
and for the improvised rapping, it would come to me, and no one would think that I would be able to do it, but
Right.
I am. I'm unfortunately one of those people that if you tell me I can't do something, I throw everything else off the
Right.
table and focus only on doing that. I'm like, whoa, can't do it. I'll show you. So much for going to work on time. So I focused on freestyle rapping for a long time, and because I was doing that in a group, I knew other people who were doing it too, and so we would kind of like battle. And so it really comes from an improv comedy background, way more than like an actual battle rap
Yeah,
situation.
okay.
So the show is different. It's not like there are roast battles now, and there's a
Right.
lot of like cutthroat, mean kind of stuff. I actually write for the Late Late Show with James Cordon, and on that show, I write scripted rap battles for celebrities to do that are really mean.
Yeah, I
Yeah, you
watched
just did the Anne Hathaway
yeah,
rap.
that
right?
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just ripped James Corden apart.
Yeah.
How did that feel, like doing that to your
It was really
your
fun.
boss?
It was weird. It was weird because I write them with another guy, this guy Jensen Karp. So far, he's been writing James's stuff, and I mean, this is too much. Whatever.
no,
We
no.
wait
Oh,
them
no,
together.
that's interesting. Anyway.
And the celebrities
This is
have
Portland. We need
feedback,
to hear
and
about
some
these
of them
things.
are really involved. Some of them are like, I came with a bunch of pages of rhymes, and we're like, oh, that's great. But
So some of the
first
guests
one-
write their own stuff.
Oh yeah, David Schwimmer
That's
wrote.
what I was wondering.
Yeah, a bunch of his own stuff.
Okay.
But so when we gave like our first draft to the show, they were like, it's a good, but I feel like we're not being mean enough to James. Let's write meaner things about James. And we're like,
Yeah.
okay,
All
you
right.
said that.
You went there.
I
Go on record.
don't want to get
saying-
fired for this.
Yeah.
And
I
some of my
feel like-
coworkers were like, you're going to get fired. You're definitely getting fired.
I feel like even like a few months ago that wouldn't have worked because he was still trying to just be like, I'm a guy and I'm in America and no one knows who I am. But now he's kind of made his way now, and that's how it
Yeah.
always is with talk shows. It's really hard.
It's
It's
true.
like the hardest job in Hollywood is like making a talk show work. I mean, ask Chevy Chase. He's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I think it's actually truer to his personality.
the talk show thing.
Well, I mean the rap battle thing.
Oh, the rap battle thing. Oh, gotcha.
Because I think with a lot like kind of like Jimmy Kimmel, like you wouldn't be surprised if Jimmy Kimmel like roasted somebody.
No, yeah, and he
He
totally
seems
took
like
it in
a
stride.
little,
He was
like-
like loving it.
Like a little more cutting, and
Right.
so this I think is a nice chance for James to show that aspect of himself.
Yeah,
that, like he
totally.
can be a little sharp, a little edgy.
Oh yeah, no, he's hilarious.
yeah.
I've been just catching him. We have to write up his karaoke or whatever. It's
Car
like
karaoke. It should be karaoke. That makes so much more
Wouldn't
sense.
it?
It's
Yeah.
so simple.
Push the words together.
Yeah, but no, it's carpool karaoke.
But it's really, he's really good in that. Like,
He's great.
able to do it right on the fly too. It's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, very talented.
Awesome. So doing that now.
I am.
And is there
I am
anybody
done.
who's ever turned down like lyrics that you've given them?
No, because it's such a new bit. It's
Yeah,
brand
okay.
new. So
Right.
we just planned to do one. And after we did the first one, David Schwimmer contacted the show and was like, "I'm on the show in 2 days. Can I please do this bit?" And we were
my
like,
God, that's
okay, sure, yeah." And we had kind of all hands on deck, figured it all out. But it seems to be pretty popular so far,
awesome.
Yeah.
and I'm very excited by how excited people seem to be to want to do it.
Yeah.
Rather than being like, "Oh no, that'll be terrible for my brand."
Right,
Like,
yeah.
It
oh,
just seems like it'd be hard to memorize too.
You got teleprompter.
It's right there.
Magic.
It'd still be hard though. I mean, it just seems like you're right there on the spot. It'd be hard
Yeah.
to just throw down raps.
Well, maybe we'll have to have one at some point.
We will have one.
Yeah. All right.
And
that'll
you will
happen.
lose.
That won't happen.
Okay.
All right. Something that let's go on to some TV stuff. So Eliza, you posted this on Twitter the other day, talking about how there are so many sequels that are coming out, and how ridiculous it is,
Yeah.
and how the lack of ideas. There are a bunch of sequels.
So we ran with that
We ran with that.
because
And-
we talk about that all the time.
No,
how
it is.
they only
it is
do
ridiculous
reboots.
How many things there are? The reboots really piss me off, a lot of them.
It's not even so much that there aren't new ideas. I mean, that's true, but I'm also like, why that?
Right.
Right.
Why did you want a sequel to that movie? Snow White and the Huntsman?
Yeah.
Really?
That is my main
Yeah.
one because that first movie was so forgettable.
Yeah.
And they lose their lead actress. They're like,
Yeah.
she
Yeah,
wasn't
she's not gonna
working.
do it again.
Let's do a sequel.
Yeah. And
What are they thinking?
Now to see me. No, now you see
Now you
me.
see me, now you
they're
don't.
doing
That-
But the sequel apparently was originally called Now to See Me, and
I was wondering
and they were like, nope, that doesn't
Look
make any
who's talking
sense.
too.
Yeah.
as well.
I think they're trying to go for like an Ocean's 11 thing or something.
Yeah, but
like
with
that.
magicians.
He's
And I'm so
actually watched the
torn.
movie. I've
I
never
did,
seen
I
the
did.
movie.
I watched the
I've
first
never
one.
seen the movie.
I absolutely did. I love magic. I love magicians. I was so excited about it, and then I was like, "Oh, I want to like this, and I can't.
Yeah.
It's not good."
Yeah, that's the bottom line. Like, there was good people in it. Like, there were some good actors in it, but oh, God.
Well, I really like Lizzie
So bad.
Kaplan from Party Down,
Well, she's not in the first one,
but she's in the second one. So I'm
Yeah.
like, maybe
The first one is
could be
Isla
good.
Fisher, right?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
I like her
Yes.
too,
Yeah.
but still.
yeah, no.
And then they have Pirates 5 is coming out
Is
because
it?
why not make another Pirates of the Caribbean?
Oh
People
no,
aren't sick of those at
They
all.
must have already made that, right?
Pitch Perfect 3 because
Yes.
that idea needs to keep rolling and rolling.
I like the first one.
Yeah, but the
second
first one's
not
fine. But I'm
quite
just
as
like,
good.
is this really a franchise? Like, how many? Are they
Well,
gonna make
I
10
think
of
that it's a
these?
franchise
Elizabeth Banks
because-
just backed out of Pitch Perfect 3, by the way.
Oh, really?
She's not directing.
Didn't she direct this?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's hanging on as a producer,
I was
but
about to
she's
say,
out.
I thought she produced
okay.
it.
But she's also like one of the busiest women in Hollywood.
Yeah. Well, I think that it's a thing because there aren't other things like it. I think that it's one of the things that has tapped into like that Glee cross
The love for
section.
musical
Yeah.
theater.
Yeah, music plus comedy.
My
plus,
sister's
like,
into
being
that
like
stuff a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actors and just keep it going.
Yeah, and
Right.
it feels like young and exciting,
Right.
and
Well,
Perfect 3, a
that's
new
okay
cast,
because
something like
she's
that.
going to be fine. She's going to direct the reboot of Charlie's Angels.
the reboot of the reboot.
The reboot of the reboot.
Wow.
You know, at a certain
So-
point, some of these things start feeling like just commedia.
Yeah.
Like
I know.
it's just like a stock character that like, who is this year's Spider-Man?
Yeah,
we just
exactly.
like roll someone else
They've
into
rebooted
it.
Spider-Man thrice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you got to use thrice because no one ever uses that. So I went.
Right,
I
so
went
there
there.
you go.
Take your opportunity.
They've rebooted Hulk 3 times.
Yeah.
You know, it's just. I mean, those are just the superheroes. We can
Right.
go on and on.
Even
Now they're doing Mary Poppins too.
yeah.
I know that.
But
with
Lin-Manuel Miranda,
yeah.
so
Yeah, and
he's-
who's Mary Poppins? Is Emily Blunt?
Emily
Emily
Blunt.
Blunt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Is
that'd be
she
great.
actually Mary Poppins?
I mean, I think so.
Well, because this is like based on a book apparently, because there were multiple Mary Poppins books.
I did not know the history of that.
Yeah, I did not either.
Okay.
But I read about it.
Hmm.
Anyways, that's happening.
Well, and then also just Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles too, which for me, the new Turtles just scare the hell out of me.
I've been reading the
Yeah.
reviews of.
Although
them.
Bebop and Rocksteady, they look great.
Yeah, that's true.
But-
they do in the trailers. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been reading the reviews of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles too, and if you haven't had a chance to, they're pretty fun.
Really, the reviews.
They are just like it's sort of like these guys' chance to just rip into something. They're like, you know, we have to be nice to a lot of properties, but we don't have to be nice to this one.
It's
Like, that's
so
what I feel like.
the little tiny heads.
Yeah.
Why did their
On
heads
the-
get
on
so
the
small?
Ninja Turtles?
Yeah.
Okay.
They keep going to different places in LA and they'll have like one on display, like at the movie theater, or like at
Right.
the comic book shop. And they'll be like, it's the real thing. And they have these little tiny heads on these big muscly bodies.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's accurate for turtles.
Yeah.
But-
that's what
First
they're
one
going
looked.
for.
The first one looked like a cartoon too. This one
Yeah.
looks a little bit better, I feel like, but I mean,
But
it
the
actually
realism
looked like
creeps
a
me
cartoon.
out. The realism of
So it's that's what do they call that? The uncanny valley.
yeah, the uncanny
Yeah.
valley of the imaginary animal, but it still counts.
Yeah.
It still works. So so you've got a didn't
Well,
you? You got the big question.
The big question.
Yeah, like
Oh, yeah, if
what
you could-
sequel if you could
Well, that was
make
what
a
I was thinking
sequel?
about. It's like if you could reboot something, or even a sequel, not even a reboot,
Yeah.
like a sequel to a movie that probably shouldn't have one, but you want it to have one. What would it be? Like I was thinking about
Thelma and Louise.
Thelma and Louise 2.
It shouldn't have a sequel. Yes.
Back from the dead.
No, it's just all on the descent. 2-hour descent.
They actually, they went through a vortex, and then they
Right,
started
yeah.
traveling time
Yeah.
together and fighting
Yeah.
crime,
I
time
would watch
crime. Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
Do you remember the sequel to Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? The Bill and
Yeah,
Ted's
the bogus
Burgers
journey.
Yeah.
They're actually talking about a third one for that.
That
Yeah.
they've been
Keanu
saying that.
Reeves on board.
I feel like that and the sequel to the Goonies are both the ones that they're like they're gonna do it.
The other
and
thing,
then
they have some
don't.
that they just like twirl around in the like rumor sphere just to mess with your mind or something.
was-
or
that
there's
was
some guy
Ghostbusters
who's
for a
written
long
like
time.
7 scripts for it. And he's like, God damn it, we're gonna get this through.
Yeah, the Ghostbusters one I'm actually okay with. Like I think
yeah.
that looks like it's gonna be good.
Yeah, it
It's
looks
gonna be-
alright.
I don't know what the whole we don't even get into the whole
The
backlash.
controversy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. It's like what's the controversy? They're funny. If you don't like Ghostbusters, then you're not gonna like it.
Yeah, well,
That's
and
just
you don't have to see it.
Yeah.
It's just an
nobody's
internet
making you go
thing.
see
It doesn't
has
hurt
to be an
the
internet
movie that you
thing.
like at all.
They didn't delete the original.
No,
You can still
keep
watch
watching
those
that
ones.
one.
Yeah.
All it means is that like now your daughter can be
Right.
really into it also, and
Yeah.
isn't that neat? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
The only thing that I didn't like about it is it just felt like sort of treading on the same ground, but it still looks funny.
I know what you're saying,
But
I
certainly
feel like
don't
it's
understand
ground
the
that
like.
hasn't.
I hate this so much.
But I also feel like it's not ground that has been trod upon by that many things since.
Yeah,
like we
and-
haven't had
yeah.
that many ghost
Not lighthearted,
comedies.
yeah.
Like I mean,
Right.
there was Ghost Dad.
There
but
was
nobody's
Ghost
watching
Dad.
that anymore.
No, nobody watched it before.
Yeah, that's true.
Now it's been
Yeah.
burned.
And there was the Haunted Mansion. That was a horrible flop.
yeah.
Also,
That sounds awful.
Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, that was Eddie
There's a
Murphy,
couple
wasn't
of
it?
live action Scooby Doos that could sort of.
Yeah, but those weren't real ghosts. Those were just old men in masks
You pesky kids, how did you get us?
with a hologram projector.
That's always a hologram. It's always a hologram, Greg.
Yeah.
Why can't they figure that out?
Well, that's what it is.
All
I mean,
right.
that's what the people want. What can they say?
Well, I want them to reboot Knight Rider again because
yeah, did
damn
they
it.
not try that?
Have they not done that?
They did Knight Rider 2000.
Yeah, they did a
Some
TV show.
things,
I had a friend who
let's
was in
make a
that.
movie. Let's make a Knight Rider movie. Remember we talked about
Yeah,
it. They even have this website.
They could do like a
They
Charlie's
even have
Angels
this
style.
website where
There
it's
was a
like
trailer.
they just show David Hasselhoff and it starts out on his belt buckle and then it pans out from there and he's like, "Yes,
He's not wearing
I
any
am David Hasselhoff," and then it's like Knight Rider. Something's
Yeah.
coming. We don't know what.
I feel like
And
if
they have a whole website dedicated to
if they
it.
did a
Right.
comedy version like the way they did with Charlie's Angels,
okay. I
I
can
think
see
I
that.
could see
Or like
that
they do with
working.
Baywatch.
Or like they
'Cause
tried
I
to
feel
do
like
with
if
Dukes
you-
of Hazzard.
Yeah, if you try to take it too seriously, it's like
Well, that's what I was telling Greg is I used to love that show when I was a kid, and
Yeah.
you go back and it's totally unwatchable.
you know, there's a new MacGyver.
Yes, we talked about that, but he
Speaking
doesn't have a
of
mullet.
reboots,
He doesn't have.
Greg
a
won't
No, it's
watch
just
it
all
because
long,
there's no
right?
mullet.
It's all long hair.
Without the mullet, that
Wasn't
cannot
there
be MacGyver.
wasn't there a season or two where that's what MacGyver looked like?
Where he had longer hair on the side. Well,
That's
if
a
were,
good
I choose
question.
not to remember this.
Okay.
My brain doesn't
The
compute
mullet's just,
that.
it's got to be part of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they're trying to make it. It's
It's a
supposed to be
prequel.
MacGyver's son. Oh, it's a prequel.
Yeah, I
That's
think
what
it's
it
I think
is?
it's a prequel,
we think maybe
but like
it's
an out of
MacGyver's
time.
son, but
prequel.
we don't know. She's saying it's a prequel.
Yeah, I'm
Who
pretty
knows?
sure
All
it's a
right, if
prequel, but
then you
but
could have the big reveal when he does shave the mullet.
but time wise, it also doesn't work out because
I
it's
really
like a
don't think
prequel
that's
that's
very
taking,
likely, Greg.
That's taking place now.
taking place now.
All
Yeah,
right.
Okay.
so that's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
it's
gonna-
like the prequels to the Star Wars, and everything looks way more futuristic. And you're like, did you not understand what prequel meant?
Yeah.
Oh, that I mean,
Why
that's
does everything
those
look more
prequels were
futuristic?
all a disaster.
They were a
It was
disaster,
total
but
disaster.
but even if they were gonna be a disaster and use too much CGI and all that, why make everything look newer than the movies
Yeah.
that they're the
Yeah.
prequel to?
Every time a guy is like, "No, the prequels actually were really good," I'm like, "Oh, you still call your dad, don't you?" It's okay. Yeah. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.
And everybody always tries to go to the third one. They're like, the third one was pretty good though, and I'm like, the third one is passable.
It was
as a sci-fi
better than
movie.
the other
But you know
two.
what? The third one ruined it all when they had the big no scene at the end, which is maybe
The no did kind of take
one
it.
of the
No!
I mean, that's a joke that I was making 10 years before that movie came out. We used
Yeah.
to say that sarcastically. No.
Well, I think that George Lucas. I mean, this is such a conversation everybody's had a million times and already
all
knows what
right,
they
we
feel.
get it.
But I do feel like George Lucas is just so in a bubble that he
Yeah.
was like, I thought of an idea,
he is,
and
yeah.
no one was like, oh no, everyone's already thought of that idea
Right,
for all of the
yeah,
ideas
I
that you
know. Yeah,
have.
because
Yeah.
that's
That's
you
kind of
know.
what happened with Empire and Return of the Jedi, too. They basically brought in pros, and they're like, those aren't going to work, but these guys will help you figure it out.
Yeah.
And, that's kind of how it all went down.
You were saying that Rogue One isn't getting good reviews?
Well, yeah, speaking of which,
Yeah.
Rogue One isn't not getting good reviews. That's double negatives, but don't worry about that
All right,
right
we'll
now.
fix that in post.
Rogue One is having reshoots, but there was this whole internet collapse about the reshoots, and people freaked out.
Mm-hmm.
And then so Page Six, which is sort of offshoot New York Times or whatever, they talked about how there's extensive reshoots. They're going to be doing a lot of scenes, and they think it's going to be going for like 6 days at a time and 8 weeks of reshoots. That's a lot.
That's millions
It's a lot of
of
reshoots.
dollars.
But now, so then another site came out. I think it's called Making of Star Wars. I have some notes here somewhere. But basically, they said that it's going to be 40% of the movie is reshot. And then they
Based
said
off the
that,
tests?
and then they said that the final screenplay writer
That's not good.
Macquarie was going to come in and supervise it. Well, shortly after all these reports came up, Macquarie tweeted on, and then also came out with a statement. He was like, "That's absolutely not true." So basically, we think it was all blown out of proportion.
Okay.
Okay.
And it's probably fine. I mean, all of these movies have reshoots built right into them. And if anything, we think that it's probably Disney trying to make the film just better, and make it sort of, the one rumor that I feel like may ring true is that they're trying to bring it in line with A New Hope, sort of make it a nice move, because it's supposed to be the prequel before New Hope happens, Star Wars,
Right.
Okay.
the Star Wars 4. So they think that maybe it just didn't quite jive with that.
It's supposed to be right before a new. Well, I mean, I guess it
'cause
spans a
steal
long time.
Yeah, I mean,
before
they
it
steal the
happens.
Death
Yeah,
Star
yeah,
plans,
yeah.
and then that falls into the hands of
Isn't that
the rebels.
Isn't this the Han Solo one?
No,
No, the Han
one's
Solo is
next.
before that, but it's
okay.
coming out
Yeah.
after.
Or yeah,
Rogue One.
time
Very confusing.
That.
Yeah.
But I bet they have a cameo in there.
But the main thing is-
because they cast him, right? It's the
Yeah.
Another big rumor online, which again is completely unsubstantiated, is that they're going back and
Say it enough to
reshooting
make it
because
true.
Vader was just going around and just mowing people down and it was too violent. That's been like the latest buzz, the Reddit buzz. Totally unsubstantiated.
It's Darth Vader.
Because
but
they
it is
want it to be in
at
line
its
with A
heart-
New Hope.
And at its heart, it's a kids movie.
Right.
So,
New
so like
Hope
even,
definitely felt like a
even
kid's
in
movie.
the what was the last one? Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. When he gets all mad and is like, yeah, with the screens,
Right.
it was like such a great kids villain
Oh,
anger
when he's just like
moment.
Yeah.
slamming.
Yeah, because it's like
Every kid
in
can
an
take the toy and
yeah.
smash. Yeah.
And in an adult movie, like, I mean, we like it, so we don't, it doesn't jump out at us
Right.
as adults. But if it was actually like an adult, like, boardroom movie, you wouldn't have like, yeah! That just wouldn't happen.
Well, and that's kind of like Adam Driver's thing, right? He's like supposed to be an I mean, not
Yeah,
him
but it's like
necessarily, but the
controlled
characters he's played before
explosiveness.
is like
Right,
he's supposed
yeah.
to have like a cantankerous
Yeah.
part or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I liked it. I thought it was a great moment.
I did too. I thought it was really funny.
I love-
But,
people
but,
made
he,
fun
but
of
he
it a
didn't like
bunch.
stab somebody a whole bunch of times.
Yeah, he
is what
wasn't
I'm
just like
saying.
beheading, just
Yeah.
Dying while he's
Yeah.
doing it.
horrifying
All right.
violence everywhere, just shooting his lightsaber around the room and taking people's
Right.
Yeah.
noggins off. That's
Okay.
you don't want
Can't
that.
do that.
That's-
I'm not sure if that's what it was. Again, it's all
That's-
unsubstantiated. We don't know.
Comic book heroes usually don't actually murder their villains. It's
Yeah.
just a whole lot of like,
Yeah,
now to
exactly.
the
Instead
commissioner
of
with
big stone on
you.
them and-
Because
Yeah.
if they did kill their villains, then they
Then
have to
they're
come
the
up with a
villain
new
too.
damn villain too.
Well, that's
that
true.
yeah, your point is.
Then they're a murderer instead
They
of a
just don't.
hero.
They just don't want to write another. They just don't want to create another villain. It's
That's-
like that.
that's
That would be
probably
work.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have enough as it is.
Yeah.
All right, I didn't realize how long we've been going here.
Oh,
Let's-
sorry.
Let's go. Sorry. Let's just go to the final one. This is the one that I am really excited about that Netflix has ordered.
It's pretty interesting.
And it is a wrestling comedy based on Glow, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling.
I
you
am
are-
thrilled.
I am
You are
so
strangely prepared for this topic.
I
I
am
thought we were going to have to show
thrilled.
you the video. I thought we were going to
No.
have to really talk about this.
I love Glow. I love it so much.
So tell them what Glow is.
Glow is the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. There was also POW for a while, Powerful Women of Wrestling.
Powerful.
I know it should have been
women?
Powo or something, but yeah. But it's Glow, and it was like heavy on characters. So they got all these like starlets or like failed actresses in Hollywood or not failed, whatever. They wanted to be actresses. They came to Hollywood. They were like, you look muscly enough. You look tough enough. Well, you got a lot of spunk. They trained them all. They trained them all to be wrestlers and then gave them different characters. So I remember there was like the farmer's daughter. I think there was some sort of sheik with like a Middle Eastern one.
Oh, and there's bad guys and good guys. There's extremely, which is the
Mount
wrestling
Fujiyama,
trope.
who was like the big mom of the house. And then they lived all in a house and did like this show where like an apartment, like the good girls live together and then like the heels all live together.
Yeah, the evil ones.
Yeah.
There's the heavy metal ones.
Yeah.
And the housewives.
Yeah. So to like give backstory to their fights in the ring.
Oh my God.
You would see like, so they're mad about that stuff that happened in the apartment, and now they're like, I mean, not quite in an apartment, but yeah, pretty much. Dishes. Yeah. And it was so cool. Like, I guess it was for it to be sexy. Yeah.
It was supposed to be sexy?
I don't know, but like as a kid, it just seemed like
you watched it like back in the day. It's not like you discovered this.
No, we got it.
Fun of it.
No, we got it in like syndication. Like
this was on for 4 seasons.
Yeah.
They canceled. They canceled the reboot of Rush Hour after 1 season. Like, this was on for 4 seasons.
Yeah, I was pretty into it because it was like Gem and the Holograms like punching each other.
Yeah,
it really does look like Gem and the Holograms because of the hair.
Yeah,
it's all about the hair.
Giant hair and like face paint.
Yeah, that's right. And there were the evil Gem and the Holograms,
the Misfits,
and they were like the heavy metal.
I always hated that.
You're right,
because it can't be the Misfits.
That's a band
because that is a really awesome punk band.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, I thought I was really into the Misfits. I was wrong.
It turns out
Danzig's so pissed. You could be Danzig for Halloween, by the way.
Oh, that'd be good. Do the dreadlock.
So anyway.
So yeah,
Glow,
so now they're rebooting it, and Genji Cohen is making it. She made Orange is the New Black
and Weeds too.
And, yeah, exactly. And she's really great at telling stories with a lot of like interesting female characters who are not just there to be sexy.
Right.
They are sexual, but they're not just like they're
they're not a secondary character.
Yeah, like Bechdel test passed over and over.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I'm really excited about this.
Yeah, it looks like. I just love how Netflix is. They have so many shows that they can just do stuff like this.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it. They have hundreds of hours of original content, and they just keep adding to it.
And that's their goal is to I think their goal was to put one out every week, right? A new.
You said that. I still haven't confirmed that that's true, but they really are on track for this.
And they're so different. Yeah, they're so different.
Yeah,
so
they
like
have all the kids shows.
They definitely put things out that like we aren't even aware of because it's not in our bubble. Like the Chef's Table, I like that a lot.
Yeah, they do a lot. They do some documentary stuff.
What is the Chef's Table?
It's fun. It profiles different chefs at different restaurants.
Like famous chefs.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a little 1 hour or so documentary on them in their restaurant.
And that's just like one of a billion things that they do.
Everything Netflix is doing.
Yeah, and then they just got
Maria
the
Bamford.
Disney deal.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to watch that. Sit down and watch the whole thing.
I love it. Lady Dynamite is so great.
Yeah, totally.
Awesome.
There's too much TV.
We
talk about this almost every week.
I realized we've been doing this for a while now.
And you probably have things you need to do.
You have comedy to do because you're here for stuff.
It's true.
It's not just to sit
we better
here
have
and
3
drink
more
beer
beers and send you on your way.
Well, Liza, thank you so much.
Thanks for coming.
Where can people follow you online?
They can follow me on Twitter at Eliza Skinner. That's a good way to find me, and I have a podcast also, Angry Little Goats.
Yeah, that was. You guys have your own theme song, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm so jealous.
Angry Little Goats. Yeah.
I was gonna write our theme song, and then I realized that.
Oh, I didn't do ours. Ours was by Jingle Joe.
Jingle Joe.
Yeah, I should know his real name.
That's his real name, right?
But he does all the songs for the Todd Glass podcast.
Oh,
also.
nice.
Oh,
Okay.
cool.
That makes sense then.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so
Awesome.
much. So get tickets, Bridgetown Comedy,
Yeah.
to go see Eliza. And thanks everybody for tuning in. So we do this every week live at 2 p.m. here at Digital Trends on YouTube. And then we have the podcast afterwards. So follow there. And have a good weekend. We'll be back next week with another episode.
Thanks, guys.
Sweet.